Dear Jalen and Cacie, I have been dating someone 3 years younger than me. I'm 25 and he's 22. At the beginning of the relationship, the age gap didn't really matter to me, but as things got serious, I'm starting to get worried. I'm scared it might not work out one day and I would be heartbroken. I'm also scared how people would judge me. I love him and I'm certain he feels the same way. Sincerely, Selane.
Selane, thank you so very much for that question. All right, babe, I know you have plenty of thoughts every time we get one of these questions, so I'm going to let you kind of roll with it, and then I'll come in later.
We actually took time to calculate how many views we have. We have, 4 videos talking about age gap?
At least 4.
I believe. And across those 4, we have...
maybe 5.
Over 45,000 views.
Yep.
Just on that topic alone.
Yep.
So, obviously, this is a very serious topic for most people.
Yep.
We didn't realize there were so many people who had age gap relationships or was even interested in an age gap relationship. So, here we go again for the 46,000th time talking about this.
Age gap is 25 and 22, 3 years.
Listen, Selane, my love, my dear sweet person. I'm not here to judge you because we don't know you like that and we're just taking this at face value. I don't know why 3 years is such a big deal to you. I don't want to make anybody feel small for this being an issue. 3 years. It's 3 years. I believe that if both of you have things in common, you have the same pursuits in life, your foundation is in the Lord, you're doing things according to the word and the will of God, then 3 years is not going to shatter your world. If he was 3 years older than you, it really still wouldn't matter. It's about the person. It's about the integrity of the person. It's about who they are, their character, all the things that we talk about here on this channel about relationship. All those things matter, not the number. So I would encourage you to really ask yourself, why is 3 years a problem?
Yeah. As far as things getting serious, I don't get worried. I hope when you say it's getting serious, like y'all talking about marriage and you're not just sexually getting together outside. Hopefully marriage is where this is going. Because it's not uncommon for that to happen. When it's in the beginning stages, as soon as you start talking about marriage, all the things that didn't seem to matter, wasn't a big deal, you start thinking about those things. So although to us 3 years may not be much, since it is in your brain a big age gap, it makes sense that now you're starting to get concerned and get worried. I know, at least if I can speak for me, once we were getting closer to that, getting married, I had to really think about that. And then what wasn't a concern, I began to think about the age gap and think, okay, am I okay with this? Is this going to be a problem? Can I handle this? All of that. So that's not strange. It's not necessarily a sign that things aren't going to work. But I will say this, you being scared that it might not work out one day
because of the age gap.
Well, why do you think it won't work out one day because of the age gap? What does that mean? What I find is a lot of times we get these questions, people just seem to think that age gap just means there's a less chance of it working. But it's like, but what contributes to that? You got to dig beneath that. You got to dig into that and find out. Now, full disclosure, yes, marriages where there's an age gap, and I think it's where the man is younger than the woman by a certain amount, I think it's like 6 years or more, they do have a lower percentage of a higher divorce rate or whatever like that. Marriage is not working out. But we've talked about this many times. The question is, well, why? People don't just get divorced because one day, you know what? I just don't like your age. What is the cause? And that's what you want to,
For women especially, we really do buy into the idea that men develop slower than women mentally.
Yeah.
There is some validity in that to a degree, but I would say, again, don't lean into that. Really lean into who that person is. Discover who that person is, because there's always an exception to the rule based off of how they were raised, the things they expose themselves to, their relationship with the Lord. All those things make a difference in how they develop as an individual. So don't judge the person. Don't put him in a box because he's younger than you and assume that he's not at your level. What is your level? Sometimes we may have an overestimated view about ourselves. And I mean, being honest, I am older than Jalen, but it doesn't mean that I understand everything about life because I got here before him. we don't learn everything at the same rate at the same time. So it doesn't mean that he's less capable of knowing things because he got here after me.
Yeah. And all this to say, we're being very hypothetical because we don't know anything about this guy. We don't know anything about you. He might not be a good person to marry for any list of reasons, but those list of reasons really have nothing to do with his age. If he's a bad communicator, he could be a bad communicator 10 years from now. If he's immature, he could be immature 10 years from now. If he doesn't love the Lord, he can not love the Lord 10 years from now. So you got to look at what is it about him that's got you held up. You know, what is it? Because we got a question one time, and we after looking at it, we're like, okay, well, these are just issues you have with his character or issues in your character that's really not going to be resolved just because you got somebody your same age. You know, I think what happens is we're looking to try to foolproof our marriage statistically. So we feel like, all right, if they're the same race, we grew up in the same area, you know, we and this would actually be a good one, but, you know, go to the same church. All these things will foolproof our marriage so that there's no chance it'll ever break apart because we'll have everything in common. That's not what foolproofs your marriage. The word is what foolproofs your marriage. Y'all agreeing on the word and living according to that standard. So I think people look at the age thing and it's like, oh, well, that's just one extra thing that could be a problem later. Well, not really.
And don't lead with that. Like for us, if people just didn't know us, no one even knows we have an age gap relationship. A lot of you have commented and said, oh, y'all look the same age, or he looks older than me. Thank you. Because we don't lead with that, you know. The only reason why we talk about it on this channel because we made the mistake of telling everybody we had an age gap relationship, and now it's like a whole big thing. But
we didn't even know that was a term. Relationship. We learned that from YouTube.
Exactly. So that's the only reason I'm talking about it, and I believe God had to do it because it's needed. You need this help, so we're making a little bit of fun about it, but don't lead with that. Let that be something people discover. If you guys get together in the right way, let that be something people discover about you, and then we're like, oh, really? You know, kind of like, you know, oh, I didn't know that. But don't lead into that. Like, yeah, he's younger than me, whatever. It's not a badge that we wear. It's not something that we use as a trophy or it's whatever. Amongst our family and friends, we have jokes, yes. But honestly and truly, it's nothing to us because we spend so much time developing our relationship, our individual relationships with God, that it's the last thing that we even consider when it comes to our relationship.
As for the part about you being scared, how people will judge you, that's also another common thing. I'm sure maybe you dealt with that, like that thought of that. You just have to get over that, honestly. There's any number of things, depending on who you marry, that you could be concerned about, someone judging you, something about them that you see as like a flaw potentially in the marriage, but that's gonna that's gonna be the biggest threat to your marriage more than age gap. You're concerned with what people think about your relationship.
Because people want to judge you regardless.
Yeah, they're gonna find something to judge.
They're gonna find something to judge.
So that it should be a big concern. Your perception of worrying about what people are thinking, that's going to be a bigger threat to your marriage than the age gap. I'm going to be completely honest with you. So that's something you need to deal with. And it's not just about this, but just in general, not really being concerned what people think. There's only a few people that really need to be on board with your relationship. That's you and your spouse, that's the Lord, and then whoever is covering and overlooking this engagement and this betrothal leading into marriage, whether that's parents, spiritual parents like pastors, some kind of oversight over that. Those are the people that you want on board. And maybe beyond that, it doesn't matter.
And maybe you need new friends. I'm just telling you, maybe you need new whole friends. You know, if your relationship is really what it's supposed to be and they're not for it, then you get new friends. Simple.
And I would say this: if you are really going to pursue this relationship, make sure you talk these issues out with him. Like, just be straight up and have some gut and be like, look, these are the things I'm feeling, to be perfectly honest. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Because you don't want to have all this in the back of your mind and get married and then be like, oh, well, I was secretly concerned about all this, and then blame that as the reason you guys divorced 10 years down the road. Like, talk this stuff out because it's legitimate. You know, again, 3 years doesn't seem like that much to us, but the idea of that is a legitimate concern. So please talk that out like you would any other issue. Because otherwise it'll bite you later. And seek spiritual counseling with your pastors or Christian counselors, Christian marriage counselors. I would definitely highly recommend that if that's available in your area because it's legitimate, it's real. You need to get it out so you can feel at peace with your next move.
Hey guys, this year we are passionate about helping you discover the will of God for your life and your relationships.
That's why for the rest of 2021, we're discounting our one-on-one coaching services to just $21.
$21.
That's right, $21 for 2021. So go to our website right now, jalenandcacie.com, to sign up for a one-on-one coaching session on Zoom with us. That's right, you can talk to us live one-on-one. Ask your questions, get real advice. Doesn't matter if you're single, married, engaged, or even divorced. We're here to talk with you.
Again, that's $21 for the rest of 2021. You do not want to miss this opportunity.
So go to jalenandcacie.com and schedule your one-on-one coaching session now.
Do you guys think that people are asking the wrong question when they ask about age gap? Mm-hmm. Should it be more like stage of life? Like, are we in the same like stages in life, or we one like in two different positions of life?
Yeah, and I mean that would be a better question, because that question is universal no matter what your age is.
I think people just are concerned with, do we match?
Yeah.
Do we have the same pursuits and goals in life? Are we on the same level of intelligence, or what's the word they use now? Like
compatibility. I don't know.
Yeah, compatibility.
Yeah.
Like, do we like the same things, same shows?
Okay, so let's be real about it then. So you know this person better than we do, so you should be able to answer those questions. But the concern is, and let's talk about this, because if it was flipped, if you were younger and he was older, the guy wouldn't be asking this question. Like you said, it's because of the consensus that guys mature less faster than women do. And so you should be looking, if you're a woman, you should be looking for someone older than you, because he probably then matches your maturity, or someone at least your age. The point is, do guys mature less faster than girls? No. Every individual person matures at the pace they mature at, based on the way they were raised and based on what their pursuits are. Mm-hmm. The truth is, there are a lot of guys in their 20s whose pursuits are not the same as a female at that same age. Here's the truth. There's girls at age 7 planning out their weddings. So women, y'all been settled on getting married and marrying Prince Charming since before you was in high school.
Well, I believe it's the nature of our human culture. It's kind of presented that way. Women, prepare yourself to be in a relationship. You know, you got Snow White waiting for her man. Yeah. You got what's some of these princes? Cinderella. Every prince is waiting for their prince. You know, so every little girl is waiting, preparing themselves. So,
the problem is,
and y'all men are out there just killing stuff.
But the culture is teaching them something different, which is save the settling down for after you have all your fun.
Yeah.
So it's not that men are incapable of maturing the same way as women. What are they being taught? Who are they being taught by?
Right.
So look for people who are being taught the truth. Look for a man who is grounded in the Word. And whatever age he may be, if he's grounded in the Word, he's got the right pursuits, because you can start pursuing the right things at age 16, age 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, of course, you don't get married until after 18 in our country. But I'm saying, like, you can start pursuing the right things. I've been pursuing the right things since I was a kid, because when my parents raised me. So that's why I seem so mature. But I'm not mature. I'm par for the course. It's how you should be.
Yeah.
So that's what it comes down to. So you should be able to answer that. Yes, he's 3 years younger than you, but is he pursuing the right things? Is he pointing in the right direction? It's not so much how much he's achieved yet, but is he going to clearly achieve it based on the direction he's pointed in?
But there are some nuances, though, to having age gap. Now, we have a whole decade between us, you know, so there are some nuances.
But I would say for 3 years, that's the central question I'll be asking. What is his focus? What is his pursuit?
Exactly.
That's really the question of what it is, because if you have the right pursuit at any age, after that, it's just a matter of experience.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And I don't think y'all have had that many different experiences in those little 3 years, personally. Now, a larger age gap, I think there's more consideration like you're talking about, and maybe we can talk about those things for someone who has that. But for your situation, where's his focus? And that I think would answer your question. Thank you for sending in this question, Selane. If you're watching this video and you are not Selane, but you would like to get your question answered, go to our website, jalenandcacie.com, on the Dear Jalen and Cacie tab of the website, where you can submit your question with your name. You can choose to be anonymous if you so desire, and we'll answer it in a video like this, and you get your question answered. But we thank you to everyone who is watching. We love you, and as always, I don't know. We're coming back with another question right after this. So, we thank you guys for watching. We love you, and we'll see you next time.